You know it. Alright, we'll get into my topic. I'm going to talk about a little 6-episode show that came out a few months ago that I watched. I finished it the other day, actually.
Hold on, let me get my sandwich real fast.
Yeah, go get your sandwich. Sit back. Let me weave you a narrative. Let me tell you a tale.
Yes. I also eat all my Japanese food as English food.
Theater of the mind, view here for a moment. Now, I'm going to talk about, this came out in September, Neo Yokio, which, if you pay attention to... Yeah, if you pay attention to... I guess anime in general, a lot of anime people talked about it because it is kind of a Eastern show done in the style of anime, so to speak. So
created by.
Well, it's got a lot of hate over the time, but I unironically enjoyed the show. I had a blast watching it. It's created by Ezra Koenig, who is a musician in a band called Vampire Weekend. I've never heard any of their music. Are they good?
What
kind of rock band are they?
I
was just I don't know. It's all rock, whatever.
They're indie, I guess. I think, or were. I don't know. I listen to a lot, and I don't pay attention to genres necessarily.
Okay. It's also the animation was done by Production IG and Studio Dean. Production IG is known for having pretty good animation, which the show does not, but we'll touch on that in a minute.
Terrible.
Yeah, so a lot of people like to, I guess, the zeitgeist of the time back a few months ago when it came out, and they kind of do this a lot with sort of Western, anime, Eastern-inspired Western shows. A lot of people ask, is this an anime or is it not?
Was received much better than this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's the same way. Is it an anime or is it not?
This one was actually done by Japanese animators.
Yeah, an anime studio.
Japan calls any animation anime, even if it's not Japanese.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's more what do we as Westerners consider anime? The whole definition is subjective, not to get into an ontological debate about what is anime and what is not. I would argue it isn't, but that it's very influenced by. You can tell that Ezra grew up watching anime because it doesn't really parody anything per se, but there are lots of references to, especially lots of 90s anime in the show. So one of the main criticisms people gave about the show is the main character, Kaz Khan, is played by Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son. And a lot of people like to give him crap about his performance. I'll say right up front, his performance is not good at all. But it's kind of
sometimes it's like reading his Twitter.
Yeah,
the anime.
Exactly. But it's kind of the charm of the show. So the show is about this. He's probably early 20s. His name's Kaz Khan. All he wants to do is be a fancy, elegant gentleman. He wants to be the best. They have a bachelor board in Neo Yokio, which is this amalgamation of New York and Tokyo, obviously.
It's future New York.
It's almost it is, but it's weird alternate universe too, because a lot of the nations in the world are broken up into city-states and stuff. It has lore that's introduced at the beginning of the show, right when the show starts, through a tourist guide video, Welcome to Neo Yokio thing that kind of explains the city.
And how many episodes long?
It's only 6 episodes.
The board is in Times Square.
Yeah, the board is in Times Square. It's called the Bachelor Board, where they rank the most elegant, fancy, up-and-coming bachelors in all of Neo Yokio that are displayed for the whole city to see.
It's everything past 14th Street in New York is under sea, I believe, or something.
Yes, a big portion of New York is underwater as well. So Kaz is... all he cares about is being fancy, being elegant, but his girlfriend kind of dumped him. So at the beginning of the show, he's kind of in the dumps and being all, woe's me, melancholy Romeo-esque. And he kind of just wants to mourn, but his aunt forces him to work for their money because he's a nouveau riche kind of guy. He's new money, whereas a lot of people in the city are old money, and explains it to you back in the very first part of the show in the tourist video that once upon a time Neo Yokio was horribly overrun and infested with demons. So they hired wizards to come over to Neo Yokio, like actual like Merlin kind of wizards, and they called them rat catchers back in the day because it's like demons would possess rats and stuff, and they'd have to like basically exorcise the demons. And Kaz Khan is a descendant of these what they call magistocrats instead of aristocrats. And all the people who are magistocrats are wealthy, but they're the nouveau riche kind. They have to like work for their money. So his aunt's always forcing him to take on these jobs, exorcising demons to basically pay for this lavish lifestyle that he wants to live. So yeah, he has to work to keep up his elegant lifestyle, and he has a passion for fashion. He loves to look good. He likes to go to this tailor in the city and constantly have like the best like suit on and stuff to help rise up on the board and maybe make his ex-girlfriend jealous, who was like a bank firm, and I can't remember. She worked in a bank firm and she went off to San Francisco before the season even starts. So what makes Kaz so funny is kind of just Jaden Smith's delivery, to be honest with you. It's so like deadpan and
apparently he doesn't voice act. He just like they just recorded him talking the lines.
Yeah, and you can tell, and it's freaking hilarious in a lot of. And my favorite line, one of my favorite lines, is
he just talks.
Yeah, he would basically just read the lines because he's not he's not a good actor anyway.
Basically, really. Sounds dead inside.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts is he's visiting a girl he used to date in the hospital, and to make her get well, he has a giant Toblerone bar that he's going to give to her, and she starts basically going off on this anti-capitalist spiel, like how he's vapid and his he's not like a good person, and all he cares about is material objects. He doesn't want to help people. It's like a lightning storm, all dramatic in the background, like frames his face, like the lighting turns his face black, and he just goes, "You don't deserve this giant Toblerone." Just like sets it on the table. It's like I'll laugh for like a minute straight at that part. Like his deadpan
apparently
is so good.
This it's very meme worthy, which I think explains why Obs loves it so much.
Yeah, you know what? What explains
there's a part where he's fighting a demon, and he randomly spouts out, this is one of the big memes other than Toblerone. He says, "Coco Chanel, may her memory be blessed," before he nukes this demon. I think Coco Chanel was like some fashion designer or something like that who died a long time ago. I think she was like a Nazi sympathizer too, interestingly enough. But he has a rival for who's going to be number one on the Big Bachelor board. The guy has the best name ever. His name is Archangelo. It sounds like it's such a bad. He's such a cheeseball. The guy who voices him, I can't remember his name, but he's in stuff. I recognize the voice.
I mean, they got some good talent apparently.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon.
Some people said they were
his aunt.
Yeah, and Jude Law is his robot butler.
Yes, Charles.
Wait, you got this far and didn't share that he has a robot butler?
Yeah, he has a robot mech that he flies around on that is also his butler, and it's named Charles.
So this really does sound good in the I want to get drunk in Mystery Science Theater shit out of it.
It's very Adult Swim brand of humor, kind of too. It will remind you of some, like, it got some Tim and Eric vibes from it. And I don't even necessarily like Tim and Eric, but it's that kind of like deadpan, sometimes a non sequitur, like comedic style. So if that comedic style doesn't appeal to you, you're probably not going to find it that funny.
I saw a lot of people saying that it's a really good parody or satire. But when I looked up like interviews, apparently Ezra made this like this is all completely like legit, like played straight. Like everything's a loving tribute.
It's not satirical at all.
Right.
It doesn't even.
Everyone else keeps saying it is though.
It doesn't really parody anything. It has references like there's a character in the second episode whose name's Sailor Peregrino, and that's just like a reference to Sailor Moon.
Is that the Taylor Swift character?
She's like a pop idol from the South.
She's Taylor Swift with she's Taylor Swift with Katy Perry's hair and Miley Cyrus accent.
Basically, yeah.
What was her name?
Her name is Sailor Peregrino, which I think is a type of wine.
Yeah, San Pellegrinos are a type of sparkling soda.
Oh, that's what it is then.
Yeah.
It has reference to Speed Racer because there's like a car race towards the end of the series. And Ranma 1/2. There's an episode where his two best friends, they go to the Hamptons because his uncle's dead or whatever, and they jump in a pool, and one turns into a panda bear, and the other one turns into a female. So there's like a Ranma 1/2 reference there. And even Fruits Basket's a little bit there, but just the people turning into animals. But so yeah, you can tell he like watched his anime and is influenced by it because he has little hints and stuff and like little references, and like that stuff's neat. It's neat to find out like what he's referencing, but there are some stuff that's like really corny and cheesy that it like anytime like the Western stuff will have characters go like chibi or nosebleed or blush all the time or have the sweat drops. It always feels like a bit like trying too hard, in my opinion.
Yeah,
which the show does. Like there's this, I think the second or third episode, they say the girl who goes off on him becomes like a NEET. And she's like, I'm a hikikomori now, and they literally say hikikomori like 50 times in the episode and keep explaining what a hikikomori is. I'm like, stop.
Another criticism I've seen is that he's just kind of an awful character, and he doesn't really get any character development.
No, he doesn't.
Except for like 45 seconds at the end or something I saw.
It's not justified like that at the end. But what I was going to say, actually, to piggyback off of that, is another thing I hear a lot of people complain about is that they feel like the show wanted to say a message but didn't at the same time. Because it has the one character who's like, capitalism's bad, you live this rich, lavish lifestyle, and like Neo Yokio, the whole city is just trying to oppress people and keep them down. But you don't ever see examples of that, really, other than like 5 seconds at the end of the show. Because everything they show you, Neo Yokio looks great and amazing, and it doesn't show you like the slums or how...
It's possible they're setting up an amazing second season.
It could be. I don't know if it's going to get renewed because it was received so negatively, but it's not...
It was apparently originally made for Fox, and Fox canceled
Fox ADHD
block,
Yeah,
so Netflix bought it.
Yep, and at times the animation feels purposely bad. Like throughout the whole series, they do the bad dub lip flaps where what they say doesn't match up, and you can tell that's on purpose.
He said he was going for 1980s animation, I believe.
Yeah, so and when he does that, you can tell like he's watched lots of old anime because the lip flaps never match the dub. But then it has some parts where like in a fight scene, it will literally be like 5 frames per second or something like that, and it's just like not great. And you're like, they probably didn't intend that, maybe.
If you like Wes Anderson movies, this is a good thing to watch. It's like
I can
Wes
see that.
Anderson made an anime. That's another way I've heard it described.
Actually, yeah. So I mean, like that's pretty much.
There are people who do like it.
Oh yeah,
but it's just mostly people don't like it.
Yeah, and I think the people who don't like it either don't have that style, like that sense of humor doesn't really appeal to them at all, or they just really didn't get the show. They might not be anime
bad
fans.
Parts about the show, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a comedy, so I'm not like judging it necessarily on the
show can't be bad.
The strength of its
like
plot.
Bad things.
Oh yeah, sure. And I'm not even saying it's like great or anything, but like it's a comedy. Most comedies, like even like comedy movies, they never win Oscars or anything like that. No one ever really says they're like great movies or stories, but it's kind of like how I feel about this. Like it's not about the plot; it's about like the fun characters, like the dry sense of humor, if that appeals to you. And that's pretty much it. That's why I enjoyed the freaking heck out of it. It was I was never one to watch it. The trailer is also really bad. It's like one of the worst trailers I've ever seen, possibly. Because I think we were in Discord, and I was like, "What is Neo Yokio?" and posted this, or you might have, Mal. And I was like, "Oh God, this looks awful." Because I thought watching the trailer initially that it was going to be like a fairly straightforward, like played it straight for the most part show. I
don't know. It's kind of as far as I can tell from the director, it's meant to be played straight.
Exactly, but if you just like,
Right. So basically, the people I've seen get enjoyment out of it are the ones who like, I don't know, just
don't
find
take it
something
super
else
serious.
to laugh at. Yeah, laugh at.
Yeah, it's all about enjoying like the really bad Jaden Smith performance, him being a main character, because it doesn't really have good fights. It's just all it has for it is like the anime references and like the very dry comedy.
I have not found anything that made it seem like it was worth my time.
Yeah, I don't think it would be your like sense of humor style, Mel, necessarily. Just I might be judging you wrong, but I enjoyed it. I'd say at least you would know by the first episode if you would like it or not. It's like if you don't like the first episode, don't even keep watching because you're not gonna like the rest of it. But if you kind of enjoyed it, then I would suggest keep on going. It's a 6 out of 10 show. There's that's my Obsidian score of slot approval.